Welcome back. And today is World Suicide Prevention Day. Suicide is the third leading cause of death among 15 to 29-year-olds. And each year, more than 700,000 lives around the globe are lost. This is why, since 2003, the goal of global public health officials has been to show that there is an alternative and that everyone plays a part in keeping hope alive.
This year's call to action by the World Health Organization is Start the Conversation. And here to help us talk around the round table are our guests, licensed therapist Jamie Hanley, social emotional specialist Denise Caesar, and former Navy SEAL Jonathan Wilson. Welcome all of you to the show.
So excited and grateful to be here.
Okay, so we just want to set the table since we brought out the round table. Data shows 1 in 5 people have thoughts of suicide at some point in their life. Yet this topic still remains taboo. No one truly wants to talk about it. So Jamie, what's a good place to start this dialogue, do you think?
Well, I think it's so crucial to normalize conversations about mental health in your home, among friends and family. You know, I'm going to therapy, I love my therapist, mommy goes to therapy, look for the helpers. That kind of talk, just normalizing mental health and the accessibility and that everybody can benefit.
Right.
Can each of you share a little bit about your personal journeys with dealing with mental health issues?
Yes. Well, my personal journey is around the birth of my son, and maternal suicide. This is actually Maternal Suicide Awareness Week as well.
Oh, wow.
And maternal suicide is the #1 leading cause of death in the perinatal period. So that time from conception all the way until a year after birth. And my own experience was one of having intrusive thoughts and passive suicidal thoughts. And I was so grateful to be able to access help at that time.
Wow. What about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, for me, I served in the military as a SEAL. I did that for over a decade, and after that, I really struggled with the transition. So that change really devastated me. I came to the city. I'm from Texas, never been to New York. Worked at Goldman for a few years, and from that, I realized it's not just me. We all struggle with change. So we started a nonprofit to help SEALs, veterans transition, and then inevitably started stepping into the mental health space. So that's my personal journey.
Wow.
So as a speech language pathologist, in 2006 I lost my voice. Although we go through dark times, that was something crucially that went after my career, after my life, and it was very dark. And you know, the darkness, we need to talk about it. We can't just leave it. We have to handle it, and there's a lot of ways to deal with that.
Right.
So that's...
Well, thank you all for sharing your individual stories, because we like to inform our viewers with folks that they can commiserate with, that they can say, oh, this person looks like me, this person perhaps has a similar experience. Jonathan, I want to turn to you because I feel like the acronym, or PTSD, entered everyone's collective lexicon, and it is intrinsically connected to the armed forces. And I wonder what you're doing, or what we can do to help folks who are veterans. I know in my town we do Catch a Lift, and it's getting folks involved in exercise, and all the funds go towards a cause to help veterans. And I wonder if you could speak to that just a little bit.
Sure. So after we started that benevolent, we started a company called Envy Mind Health. So we use biometrics from your watches, not your Cartier, but from your Apple Watch.
Shout it out.
And we pull with that. We work with doctors, and it helps you give your mental health trend lines. With that, we've created a community around that. So we essentially had something in the SEAL teams called Swim Buddies. So what we recognize in the SEAL teams is we really struggled having conversations outside of our little community. Our tribe is what we called it, but we would be open with one another. So essentially the app allows us to have those conversations, but it all starts with changing the narrative. So what we said earlier is like, this stigma is just unbearable. I've lost more friends to suicide now than I had to 16 years of combat.
Wow.
We had helicopter crashes. I mean, we just unfortunately lost another teammate about a month ago, and it feels like every month we're losing people. So it starts with, hey, let's be vulnerable, let's pretend, let's stop pretending that we're struggling and actually have the real conversation.
And sometimes I feel it's a harder conversations to have with men.
I believe so. Right? Yeah. So, sorry about the reaction, but it's so true.
So true.
It is. Well, men are more likely to complete they're 3 times more likely to complete. And because the conversation isn't normalized, so we really, really have to look to people like you to lead that conversation and invite more men into the conversation.
Because then you look at it as a weakness, right? That men have to be strong, right? So
Right.
that's where that comes.
And talk to us about, Denise, you credit music with saving your
Yes,
life.
well, you know, being a speech pathologist, I did learn about frequencies and vibrations, and the vagus nerve controls, you know, the brain, the larynx, the all the way down to the stomach. So I credit it to, you know, a songwriter, that's their journaling, you know, besides the music and the vibration that can heal you, it's also their journal. So words, affirmations, you could take a song, but if you really read the lyrics, it could speak to you. That's how it saved me. There would be days when I felt really dark. And I want to say something, you know, I have SLM, so it's self-love. As much as people love you, if you're not really doing the self-love, nothing's changing. That's key. The second one is looking for a glimmer of light. So then the light was the music, you know, the music for me, maybe the feeling of the music, but also the words, how the words hit me. So I still do that today. I get different songs like, okay, Let It Be is in the book that I wrote about music healing, but also Fighter or Fight Song or Brave. All these words bring you so much.
Yeah, and Jamie, I think it's important to also ask this question. What are the signs that we should look for if a loved one is suffering or struggling with life in general?
Isolation, hopelessness, feeling like they're a burden to others, giving things away. You know, it's so important that we stay connected to our loved ones, that we reach out and we let people know that we care, that they matter, that we're available. If you're concerned about a loved one, if somebody expresses to you that they're in crisis, you want to call 988 or go to the nearest emergency room where you can be individually evaluated so they can look and see what are these symptoms that you're experiencing, and are they really true crisis suicidal thoughts, or are they a different kind of suicidal thoughts that's showing up in a different diagnosis?
Right.
So a trained professional who knows these nuances can help you figure it out, and there's so much help available.
And I think it's also important to make sure that we look out for all ages. I mean,
Yes.
even the youngest of our families.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, and women and girls in particular, we have that hormonal vulnerability piece. And so times of puberty, postpartum, perinatal, perimenopause, all these times, and throughout the month, even the week before our period, we are more vulnerable to suicidal thoughts. So yes, across the ages, across the lifespan, it does not discriminate.
Does
we
not
need to
discriminate,
talk about it.
But there is hope, and it starts with conversations and tables across the city and across the country. And we thank each of you for bringing your thoughts and your inspiration to our table. I saw you brought some books. We're going to post these on our website. And really, truly, it's a conversation, and we're glad to be a part of it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. If you at home know someone who is struggling, help is available at the Suicide and Crisis Line. All the information is right there on your screen.